Why does it keep doing that? What up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. You are through to Eagle Eye, transfer rumor show where I talk to you about rumors and news surrounding the Arsenal. I hope you guys are well. Pardon my little, I don't know what I was doing earlier, but anyway, here's what it is. You probably saw me slightly before you should have. But please do me a favor, hit the like on this video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and that would be helpful. Just to let you guys know, the ones who immediately come soon. So sorry, first of all, that I'm 15 minutes late. I just set up, like straight up. I was supposed to set up at least an hour ago. And quite frankly, I had a snooze. So I didn't woke up a very short time ago. And I'm literally just backtracking ever since. So apologies for that, but I hope you're well. Also, apologies for the noise in the background. Quite frankly, I had to use the dryer. So I had to put on some stuff on the dryer. So every now and again, you will hear that rumble in the background. And also tomorrow, finally, the show won't be at 7. It'll be a lot earlier. It'll probably be during my lunch break from work tomorrow. So something in the region of about 2 o'clock. The reason being is that I'm going to be hella busy tomorrow evening-ish, so it won't be at its usual time. So instead, what I will do, this is why I said a Chig Knows Best will drop tomorrow evening, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a live show for you guys, so an Eagle Eye show, and then I'm going to do a Chig Knows Best, and that will drop in the evening. So you don't miss your hit of Chig. It'll just come a little bit differently tomorrow evening, that's all. Make sure you keep it locked and you hit that subscribe button. Okay, let's go into the stories and jump into them. Let's talk about Mr. Luka Jovic. Luka Jovic, the 22-year-old Serbian striker, hasn't had a great time at Real Madrid this season and hasn't had the greatest of luck this summer. He went on loan. Previous season, he absolutely killed it. Got a handful of goals, a handful of assists, and he looked like a terror. This season, it hasn't worked out as well. He's got something like 2 goals in 24 appearances. But I think most people looking at him like the striker. They like something about him. Like, I bet if you had to ask people in the chat today, who would you take? Napoli's Milik or this guy? Keep in mind they're quite similar ages. Arguably, they're quite similar styles. And Milik has a lot more goals, at least this season. I bet most people would take Jovic for some reason. So it's weird that. I think most people can see there's much more potential in Jovic than there is in Milik. Well, we're favourites to strike a deal for both. Because it was broke today that although Jovic is currently injured with a foot injury, is a detail I've not yet forgotten. He is currently injured with a foot injury caused by apparently a wall fell on his foot. I don't even know how does that happen? So, I get it with paupers, me and you. How does a millionaire get in a situation where his wall falls on his foot? Anyway, but so it happened. He's injured, and it's kind of changed Real Madrid's approach, because initially they were planning to hold on to Jovic. They felt that there was so much interest in him that it made them do like a double take, like, whoa, are we doing the right thing here? And Arsenal were one of those teams that were very keen on him. And it was only when Real Madrid looked like they were wanting to keep him that they started to turn their attention to people like Usman Edouard, Milik, people like that. But now Jovic is back on the scene, and this is someone that Arteta very much likes as a striker. Very much, you can see him fitting into his style. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans, for the right price, wouldn't mind Jovic in the team. I've even seen a couple of people already in the chat say that, you know what, on loan, I'll take him. So it's an interesting one, this one. Now, I suppose I should run this story alongside this Jovic story, and that is apparently before any transfer is being considered, Arsenal's first priority is to get Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang agreed to a new contract. I mean, why it's taken this long to decide this? It's Arsenal, innit? we just do this. This is just how we do business. But at least they're getting there. They are moving ever so slowly in the right direction in terms of this. Now, they should have been doing this. They should have more or less agreed a new contract for Aubameyang. But supposedly, the plan is to still go back to him and offer him a new contract closer to the terms that he's looking for. Supposedly, he's looking at something on par with Mesut Ozil, and you can completely understand he's the best player on the team. And the player who has the money that he's looking for, arguably, is one of the worst players on the team. So it was like, I mean, again, Arsenal. But, I think this is where getting Mesut Ozil off the books, even if it is next year, is so important. Because then we won't have this pay disparity between the players and we can start playing the players appropriately and what they're worth. Unfortunately, if you're Aubameyang, you're looking around, you're thinking, hold up, how does this geezer get 350 and I think he's on 180, something like that, which is nuts when you really think about it like that. The more this drags on, the more I'm starting to think that Aubameyang might stay. Because you've got to think that his options are closing up around him. I still think that Inter Milan perhaps are the most serious players of the lot, because it looks like they're set to lose Martinez to somebody, just a case of who. I don't think Real Madrid are going to come in for Aubameyang for some reason. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I feel like it's going to be Inter if they lose Martinez to Barcelona, as we all expect. So with Aubameyang, he might just say to himself, if I can get the money that I want and I can get the assurances that I need from this club that they're going to really make some effort, maybe not this summer because everyone's going to be in a bit of a hole, but next summer, really bring in some players that's going to support the cause. He might just decide to just do it, He might do. I keep changing my mind. I'll be honest. This is one I genuinely don't know. If you asked me a month ago, I'd have said Aubameyang's gone. I still am in that camp, but the more that days pass, the more I'm thinking he might just decide, you know what, I'm comfortable here, I'm happy here, this is my team. If I can get the money that I'm looking for, heck, even if he can get close to, I don't think he'd get 300, but even if he can get 250 a week, he might just decide, I'll take it, 250 grand a week, give me a bit of a signing on fee, I'll take it. Thank you, appreciate it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we go with this. If we get Aubameyang, then obviously we don't need Jovic unless Lacazette decides to leave, and in which case that opens up the opportunity for, okay, well, do we need someone else? Keep in mind that Eddie looks nice and fresh. He's banging in goals. You've got Balogun waiting in the wings. You've got Martinelli waiting to be a world class player. So it's interesting. It's an interesting dilemma of kind of, do you stick or do you twist? I still don't like Aubameyang on that left-hand side. I don't care how many goals he scored. I still don't like him there. But let's see what happens. But the Jovic story I thought interesting because I know you guys like to rubbish stories that you just think to yourself, oh, ain't no way Arsenal's going to do that. But I think we can all agree on loan, I can see Arsenal saying, all right. And to be honest, there may be an argument that if Lacazette does go, obviously there's a belief that Lacazette will be part of the swap deal for Partey. I still think if the Partey deal happens, that's how it happens, through a swap deal. And if that's the case, maybe Jovic as a second striker would be the sensible thing to do. Just say to him, listen, bro, you got 2 goals last season. You ain't going to be starting every game, but maybe as someone who can compete for a place with Martinelli, I think will be a healthy thing to do. And then as Aubameyang gets older, you phase out his influence a little bit, you turn up Martinelli and and Jovic's, should we sign him on a permanent, influence a little bit, and then you're good to go. I know a lot of people will be disappointed because they desperately want Ousmane Edouard. But from the stories I see, Ousmane Edouard seems to be the third choice striking priority. I don't think he's anything on the top two. I think in an ideal world for Arteta, it'll be Jovic, it'll be Malik, then it'll be Ousmane Edouard. That's the way I think it will line up. What do you guys think? Do you agree with that assessment? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Right, I wanted to talk about some stories and try and act somewhat organized. I just realized I've opened up about 1,800 tabs. Okay, let's talk about Nico Elividi, who is the Borussia Mönchengladbach centre-back. Very highly rated, this guy. Young, I think he's like 23 years old. Mönchengladbach have one of the best defensive records in the Bundesliga. 1 second. Oh, there you go. Wifey makes a good coffee. What can I say? And yeah, he is someone that LE10 Sport constantly says that Arsenal are looking at this guy as like the #1 choice to partner Saliba. That seems to be the narrative at the moment, and I will talk about another defensive story in a bit involving Arsenal. But they are apparently really considering this guy as not only the guy to be in the squad, because I think Arsenal might end up by more than 2 centre-backs. Sorry, more than 1 centre-back, I should say. I think they could buy 2, but I think this guy will probably ended up being the potential starting one. He would be available for around 25 million. And again, like I say, he's 23 years old. He's someone that's played in the best defensive setup in the Bundesliga. You know, Germans are all about their defensive football. Well, the good ones anyway. So I feel like this could be, and this is someone that I am watching or attempting to watch whenever Bundesliga is on. But from what I've seen, I'll admit it, the little glimpses I've seen, he looks good. He looks very, very good, very composed, calm. I really want to watch him over the stretch of a game because for me, a mark of a good defender, I don't care how good you are at reacting. What are you good at reading the game? How can you read the game? Can you sense that danger as early as possible? That's personally where I'm impressed by a defender. I think we've always had defenders that can react well. We've not had defenders so much that can dictate the game, even from a defensive point of view. Can see the danger coming, and whether it's arranging certain players or telling certain players where to go or making that move way before the striker makes the move. We haven't had one of those defenders in a long time. Probably Sol was probably the last person we had that could do that. Oh, no, that's harsh. Mertesacker was a great reader of the game. He just wasn't very quick or particularly strong, weirdly, because he was quite tall. But he was a very good reader of the game. So I always rated Mertesacker higher than most. You guys know this. If you're a long-term subscriber of mine, you know I think I was the only YouTuber that said the last time we won an FA Cup, I said Mertesacker should start alongside Rob Holding. And not only should Mertesacker start alongside Holding, I bet he'll be one of the best players on that pitch. Yours truly called it to perfection. Wow, everybody in that comment section, just go and look at that preview. We're absolutely trashing me on that day. I was coming like on Mesut Ozil, like sipping on tea. So yeah, I think for me, this guy just reminds me of someone that I think could be very, very good. I am going to update my Chig Knows Best defender series because people keep asking me. So Chig, you keep talking about defenders, but who would you pick? I will update it, and I will do that for next week, so you guys will see the pick that I would have for William Saliba, because it has changed. That much I will say. It has changed. Okay. Let me see. Let's talk about the other defensive option, and that is Dayot Upamecano. Now, he's the one that up until the last few weeks was most people. Get down. Sorry, dog is sniffing the my raw chicken. Um, so yeah, up until recently was most people's choice to be number one pick for William Saliba. But well, let's just say football's come back and William Saliba looks like a clumsy oaf. As simple as that. And people were like saying, "Oh, Chig, you are right." Don't get it twisted, people. Just because I didn't buy into the Upamecano thing doesn't mean, and I perhaps want to reiterate, I still think Upamecano will be a good player. Just people kept asking me about him, like he was this next coming of Jesus Christ, and I just didn't buy into it because there was nothing that I had saw that made me think he was just this amazing defender. I thought he had a lot of potential. He's very strong. He's got good pace, and I think he's a good partner. But for the Canute, I've always said the same thing. His younger, better, taller partner is the one we should be going for. He's the one. Now, because we've not been linked with him, he's not going to be in my Chigno's Best Video series. But he would be my ideal choice. Because although he's 20, he's got a mind of a 23-year-old. He's very mature in the way he conducts his business. He's very, very calm, very composed, reads the game excellently. Upamecano is the reactor of the two. So that's why I've never quite been sold on the Upamecano thing. I think I still will reiterate, in spite of what you lot have seen recently, he will become a good defender. But is he my number one choice? I guess you guys are gonna have to wait and see. But for me, I've never been all the way sold on him. But his club are playing hardball. So let me update you on the entire events for Upamecano. So Upamecano has been constantly linked with moves away. There's not many teams that aren't interested in him. City were interested in him. United were interested in him. Chelsea were interested in him. You know, Chelsea are buying everyone at the moment. All these teams were interested in him. But what essentially happened was he kind of didn't get people's attention because obviously it coincided with this pandemic. And then it was decided that not a lot of clubs are going to have a lot of cash. So nobody could spend the sort of money that they were looking on him. Bear in mind, this is the same team that was looking for 50 plus for Upamecano, 50 million pounds, by the way, for Upamecano. No one was prepared to go quite that much, in spite of the fact that he's 21, he'll only get better, he's got resale value, but no one has that money available at the moment. So Upamecano's plan was, all right, then cool, what I'm going to do. Oh, God. Sorry. Something distracted me around the room. So Upamecano's plan was, okay, cool, I'm going to go back to my club and I'll just wait it out for the season because I think he's got like a year left. I'll wait it out and then I'll move in January or I'll move for free at the end of the summer. In fact, then he had a rethink and then said he was going to do a sort of thing where he agrees a 1-year extension deal with his club, and then he just moves next summer. So then that way, the club still get a fee, and obviously everybody's financial situation will be stronger this time next year. His club, though, are like, no, no, son, you may have these plans, but we're the ones in charge of your contract. So if you're going to go now. We'll get you a buyer. Don't you worry. We'll get you a buyer. So what they've done is that they have lowered his transfer fee. Bear in mind they were looking for upwards of 50 million pounds. They've lowered his transfer fee to 40 million euros, which is around about the 35 million pound figure. So now obviously people are kind of like, 35 million pound. Maybe we could take a stab. Us and who else is it? Chelsea or is it AC Milan? Because I swear these three teams seem to be interlocked for targets. So I just want to make sure I'm not getting it confused. But us, and I think it's AC Milan. I'm pretty sure it's AC Milan. Us and AC Milan seem to be the ones very, very, very tempted by this deal. I wondered what you guys thought though. Is this something that you are looking to get back into, the Upamecano business? I know not a lot of people are keen on him ever since football came back. I still think he'll be a good player. I still think he is a good player. I think people shouldn't necessarily go too much the other way with it, where they think, oh no, he's a crap player. He's still a good player. Is he as good as others? I don't think so. But then again, I've always said the same thing. But for me personally, 35 million, yeah, it's still a little pricey for me, but it's not far off. It's not far off what I pay. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. I think someone likes fucking with me because they watch my transfer rumor show, and they decided, you know what, just for you, I'm going to put a story out there. So remember I was talking about Marc Roca, the Espanyol midfielder, who kind of reminds me of Granit Xhaka in the way he plays. Can ping the ball out with his left foot. To be fair, can ping it out with his right foot as well. Much better passer than Granit Xhaka. You know, Granit Xhaka every now and again does a decent diagonal pass that might find his target. Whereas Marc Roca is much more clinical in his passing. He's a lot more precise. And actually, in a midfield, in an all-new looking midfield, Arteta wants Marco Roca to partner Thomas Partey in that midfield. That's his ideal solution. Sounds like a pretty good midfield to me. I'm down for that. So that apparently is the plan for Marco Roca to join Arsenal Football Club. And the moment he has a £35 million release clause, the feeling is that if Espanyol carry on the way they're going, they'll get relegated, and therefore they'll be in a position where they will be subject to bids of a lot lower than 35 million. The feeling is that they may accept something in the region of about 20 to 25 million for Roca if it came to it. What do you guys think? Is anyone that watches him regularly that likes him, that rates him? I like him. I think he's good. I genuinely think he's good. I think this is who Wenger thought Granit Xhaka would be. And I think the kid looks like he's a lot better. I think it'll put people off because as soon as he uses his left foot, I think people will start getting Granit Xhaka flashbacks. But I do think he'll be better. He looks like a much more composed player than Granit Xhaka. But what do you guys think? Let me know. And also, supposedly, he's very keen to come to the Premier League. So what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Speaking of Partey, you know I had to do a Partey update. So once again, all parties are very interested. The club wants it. The club wants it. His teammates want it. He wants it. The fans want it. What the feeling is that Arsenal are playing a little bit of poker, to be honest, because they know that all parties want it. So what they're trying to do is they don't want to pay the £44.5 million release clause. So they are trying to have plans in place. Obviously, one of those plans is Lacazette. They know that Atletico Madrid wants Lacazette. We're open to selling Lacazette. That feels like a natural story that makes sense. Arguably, both valued around the same. They both had 2 years left on their contract. It feels like a deal that could be done. But what if it can't? And then the other option is, okay, well, if we have to pay money for Partey, how much do you think that they would accept? And there's a belief that if Atletico Madrid doesn't make Europe, and at the moment there's a real risk that they won't, if they don't make Europe, that they will accept significantly less. And particularly if they don't make the Champions League, they'll make it significantly less. So I think Arsenal are kind of just running the gamut at the moment, knowing that the transfer window apparently doesn't. There's plans apparently for the transfer window to be delayed, mind you, until August. which gives Arsenal a very small window to complete deals. So Arsenal, I'm all for playing poker. I'm a poker player myself, but I think sometimes you got to know when to kind of just not nickel and dime and not play fish and just fold some hands and go all in when it's appropriate. So if you're a poker player, you understood all those terms. So I feel like for me, just need to be careful, just be easy, and play the hand appropriately. But we'll see what happens. I just hope they don't screw up this Partey thing. I'll be honest. Every day I mentally prepare to see the headline I don't want to see, and that's Partey has agreed a new contract to Atletico Madrid, or Partey is going to Chelsea. You know that one in particular will piss me off. So, what do you guys think? Let me know. Again, leave it in the comments below. Am I missing anything else? Oh yeah, I saw this story. This was an interesting story. Okay, this one is a different story. Oh, okay. Oh, they're still chasing that PSG Scarlet. I'm not going to talk about that. I was going to talk about this story about Arsenal being interested in the PSG defender. Did you guys hear about this story? Let me see if I can get that up. Hold on. Please do stick a like on this video. Like squad, you guys did great yesterday. Please jump on the like once again as I start to look for this story. Hit that like button just to give you guys some quick church announcements. The Combat Show every single Friday at 9:30. We will be jumping on again this Friday just to talk MMA and boxing. Chick flicks. I still owe you guys at least one more review, and I'm going to do a list on chick flicks for my top 10 most anticipated films of next year. I know you guys like the list, so I'm going to make sure I'm going to do that sometime this week. I don't know exactly when, but it'll be sometime this week. Is there anything else? Remember, Eagle Eye will be on, instead of 7 o'clock tomorrow, it'll be on 2 p.m. tomorrow. So I'm going to be busy around 7 p.m. I don't want you guys to miss the show. Instead, what I'm going to do is around 9 o'clock, I would have pre-recorded and edited my Chick Knows Best video. That will drop. First and foremost, it'll drop 12 hours for the members. So I always make sure the members get it early. So I'll make sure the members will get it earlier. So it'll be 12 hours before, it'll be at 9 o'clock for the members. And then for you non-members, it will be on 12 hours after that. So it'll be Thursday morning that you guys will get that. So I just remembered that. I remembered I'd made a promise that all members will get my videos 12 hours earlier. So I'll keep that. Speaking of which, if you want to be a member, join. It's not too bad. I've only got 2 tiers system. I'm put out 2 videos out of there so far, not including the intro. One is cooking with the wifey. The other was it was a roast dinner by yours truly. So so there's 2 videos already out there. This week I will be doing a FIFA stream out there as well. You guys probably would have seen the other one that I put out there about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. That one did well. You guys seem to enjoy that. So I'll make sure I do that for the members. And I'll also be doing a video log. So you guys will enjoy certain things about that video log. So make sure you join. I promise you it'll be worth it. I think that's everything. Right. So you would have thought I would have found the story as I was waffling on, but I can't multitask for shit. Hold on. Interested in PSG defender. I've forgotten his name, and I don't want to fumble the story without going through his name. No, it's not Lazawa. Who is PSG's 35? Like he's a 35-year-old, but he's still like doing bits for PSG. And I know you guys are saying in the chat room, and I'm not even looking at the chat room just yet. I saw this story, it's gonna piss me off. All right, let me come into the chat room. You lot will know. Help me out, guys. Who am I thinking of? Thiago Silva. That's the one. So apparently he's on a free, isn't he? He's leaving the club, isn't he? That's it. My guy Lee. Yeah, Thiago Silva is being linked with a move to Arsenal, which I thought was interesting. Immediately, I had Lichtsteiner type vibes. I was like, oh no. I was just talking about Lichtsteiner yesterday, and I was talking about the fact that I was the only one that did not like that signing, and I was proven correct, and I didn't want this to be another one of those situations. But then I was looking at the stats of Thiago Silva, and actually, out of all the European defenders, or all the defenders in Europe, apparently only Virgil van Dijk has a better one-on-one duel rate. He's second on that list. So I was thinking to myself, huh. Because, we were talking yesterday, like I said, somebody watches the show. We were talking yesterday about the fact that I'll just get rid of David Luiz. I'll get rid of Socrates. I'll get rid of Mustafi. But the whole problem is, we don't have experience. Go and buy experience. Enter this story, Thiago Silva. I kind of thought to myself, you know what? Yeah. I might have him, just as a little backup, a little something to have in the wings. You never know, maybe that could actually work. So for me, I was much more impressed with the fact that his stats were so good for a 35-year-old. He's a winner. He's someone that will bring some experience to the team. He's someone that the younger defenders, aka a William Saliba, even a Mari if we decide to buy him, a Chambers if he stays, and any other defender we buy could look up to and have an impact on the team. Now, they were making a big deal out of the fact that him and David Luiz once made a formidable partnership at centre-back. And I was just like, oh, no, I don't want another old man alongside David Luiz. I want him to replace a David Luiz if David Luiz was to go. Don't get it twisted, people. I'm not proposing this guy plays week in, week out. It's kind of like as I was saying to you yesterday with Socrates. If he can get 20 games next season, and then we meanwhile ship out the likes of David Luiz and the likes of David Luiz and the likes of Mustafi and Socrates, you get rid of all this deadwood, and then you bring in someone like a Thiago Silva in for free for a year. I'd do it. He's clearly still got something. So yeah, for me, I'm all for it, And this signing, in a lot of ways, makes more sense than a Dayot Upamecano, because this is someone that, say, a Saliba can learn from. This is someone, arguably, with Silva, he plays in a similar way to, at least, well, not so much these days, but when he was younger, in a similar way to Saliba. So he actually would be an ideal mentor for a Saliba. That's kind of my kind of feeling on it. But what do you guys think? Let me know. I'm not so against it. I know some people might be like, oh, no, chill. Have you gone mad? But when I saw the story, I kind of was like, yeah. Yeah, I'm all right with that. So, again, what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Right. I don't think there is any other stories that I wanted to touch on. Kind of stuff that I think I'll touch on tomorrow. There's briefly stuff about Henrik Mkhitaryan's future. There's stuff about okay, that's interesting. I'll talk about that tomorrow. So yeah, there is a couple of stuff here and there from my various different websites. You know how I roll. But I'll talk about that tomorrow. Remember, Eagle Eye will be back at 2 p.m. tomorrow. It's strictly just tomorrow. Normally it's 7 o'clock, but it's going to be 2 p.m. All right, we've got 8 minutes before eventually AFTV comes on and half of you bounce. So let's see if we can use these 8 minutes properly. So just quick Q&As. You guys ask me anything you want to. Again, leave it in the comments below. For those people asking, as Mr. Gunner is in the chat room, I think it'd be all right to mention that, yes, once football's back, me and Lee will be doing what we usually do, bringing you watch-alongs on his channel, bringing you reviews and player ratings on mine. So make sure you stick around. You know how we do. You know how we roll by now. This is what we do. So, and you know there's going to be about 10 million other people that do watch-alongs. Keep it locked with us. That's the thing I would definitely say. Keep it locked with us. All right, let's see. I take him with an option for another year. See what I'm saying? I don't think it's that much, you know. Now, obviously, if he's on a crazy salary, you tell him to calm down with that. Because if he leaves PSG, I'm sure he's not necessarily expecting to come to an Arsenal. So you tell him to calm down with his salary expectation. But for a year, and he's still doing something as a 35-year-old, this is where an old man signing makes sense. The Lichtsteiner thing never made sense to me because he was a right back. Centre backs, you don't need that much pace. You just need know-how. You just need know-how. Normal service resumed, exactly. Just doing it how we do. Sama, Malilia. I don't know why I did that. I hope you're well, brother. I hope you're well. Great show. Sangara or Roca. You guys know I rate Sangara highly. I rated Sangara a year ago. So Sangara will be my guy. Because he's a big lump. And we need a big lump in that centre of midfield. He's not particularly quick, but he's a good passer, super strong, excellent tackler, reads the game well. That's what we need, man. We need, I'll tell you, that's the only circumstance I'm okay if Partey doesn't come, is if we get Sangara. It's the only circumstance. And as Lee says, make sure you download his code for Hot Mic. Make sure you do that, especially for when we do start up our streams again. Even I had to download it. So that I'm ready when we eventually get going. We need players like Partey or Coutinho, in my opinion. Oh, for someone that actually wants Coutinho. Shame about your picture, but someone that wants Coutinho. And I'm not talking about you, Joey, just so you know. Medwin. I know, but PSG are like a money club. Yeah, they are. They are. Like a shit. Sergio, you're not still not a fan, no? Still not a fan. Omar saying I would have had him a few years ago. Yeah, I think most of us would have. But you still listen. Regardless, if I hadn't told you his age and I just told you that stat, you'd have much more likely said, you know what? You'd have been like, I'd have him. I'd have him. So, good love from Nimsy. What's going on? I won't support the I won't support AFTV though. They're doing their thing. They. You notice I never talk crap about AFTV. One of their characters, I'm not a particular fan, but I never talk about crap about AFTV themselves. Chip, do you think the Premier League will be too? I mean, that's the question. That is the question. But as I've always said to you lot, you don't need to be quick to be a centre back. You don't. We have placed way. Mustafi's not slow, for example. Why is it that 99% of people still want Mustafi gone? You know? Everybody needs to be realistic. You don't need to be quick to be good. Just need to know how. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Much love. You guys have been nice today. What's going on? Big Dante's in the building. PSG are kicking out because he refuses to take pay cut in his salary. Have a conversation with him, though, Michael. That's essentially what I'm saying. Because if you can cover that by saying to him, all right, look, we ain't going to pay you £350,000 a week for a year, obviously. But if you can take 150 grand a week. We'll give you a nice little pay. Have the conversation. This is what Arsenal fans, like, you're not ambitious enough. Listen, you go for these players and make the offer. If they reject it, then at least you've tried. But it looks like we don't try enough because, we get psyched out by what they currently have. He's 35 years old. He needs to calm down. He ain't getting 350 a week anywhere. Yes, amen to that. Support the channel. Smash the likes. I could have said it better myself. And also follow me on Instagram, Guna_Eagle_I. I'm going to say no comment, but that will make a certain Mr. Gunner laugh as well. Oh dear, that is hilarious. What do you reckon, Lee? He's a handful, but he's cool when he wants to be. He's a handful. He is a handful. With the transfer window opening tomorrow, so they're opening tomorrow. So I saw a headline that said that the FA are looking to delay the opening until August. So maybe I need to read that story again, but that was the story I saw. Chig, Lee Gunner or AFTV? It's Lee Gunner all day long, baby. Come on now. Imagine if I said AFTV while he's watching. He'd be like, fuck you. Oh, dear. All right. Diaz from Benfica could be one that we could get to partner Saliba. Yeah, I must admit, I've never been a massive fan of Diaz, but he has gotten better since I said that. So he is someone I need to consider again. Oh, there you go. There's my combat show host. Getting it in our group chat, by the way. Deservedly so. Me. Uh-oh. No when random numbers call you. All right. One more question before I bounce up out of here. One more question. One more question. One more question. No, please, no Ola or Lee Gunner questions because I will ignore those. Like choosing between my brothers. Is Zakaria better than Sangara? Maybe he cost 30 million. I still prefer Zangara. I know a lot of people like Zakaria. I'm not what I don't say. I wouldn't say I dislike him. I just prefer Sangara. Friday we'll talk. That's what, actually, you know where we talk, bro. Combat show chat room, baby. Come on, one more question and I'll head up out of it. One more question. Please do stick a like on this video before you do go. It does help. It really does. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like I said, tomorrow, guys, I'll be back. It'll be much earlier than usual. It'll be 2 p.m. So make sure you catch us then. It will return back to normal on Thursday. But for tomorrow, it will be 2 p.m. One more question and I'll head up out of there. Let me play Cupid for Nimsy. Melina, what do you think? I don't know if you're in the chat room or if you're watching this in the playback, but there you go. Let me hook Nimsy up. Bernstrand, I see you, but I'm literally on my way out. Yeah, Zakira is injury prone, and that too. All right, here we go. Arsenal posted an Instagram picture of Ozil and said it's all in the planning. I replied and said, hopefully he's planning on leaving. Hopefully he's planning on leaving real soon. Meltdown incoming unless they delete my comment. They'll block you on Insta too, Lee. Let's be real here. Let's be real here. They're going to block you on Insta too. Always wants all the smoke. That's what I call him. Lee wants all the smoke, Donna. Because if he's feeling bored, he'll poke and he'll get that smoke. And it ain't just Arsenal Insta accounts, as he very well knows. Oh dear. Right. I am off out of here, guys. I'm going to stop saying smash the like button because you guys should have already done that. Like Squad should have taken care of that. That's your job. So I hope you jump on that. Make sure you catch me tomorrow. If you don't catch me on live at 2 p.m., because I know you Aussies and Americans don't have the same timeline as us lot, make sure you do hit on the playback. Make sure you do give it a like when you hit it on the playback. And yeah, look out for my video tomorrow as well, my Chick Knows Best video series. By the way, guys, I'm killing it. I'm giving you guys content at the moment. Goodness gracious. No, I ain't even seen the wifey because of how much content I'm giving you guys at the moment. Show us a love, goddammit. And one more very important detail. Countdown is on, baby. 387 days until Mesut Ozil's gone. I'm out. Take care. Peace.